This door is going to be insane, isn't it? What? I got chills instantly this thing showed up. They never showed this in the first door. First time someone treated him kindly or something. If I see B and E, I think Beatrice. There's no way. This is literally my language. That's not what I'm wondering about, though. You don't need food and water? This guy is clearly suspicious. Hello, welcome Pocket Watch here, and it's about time for another episode of Fata Morgana. So yeah, last time we finished the first door and... oh, what a ride, what a ride. It has been intense. So I'm very curious what's going to happen in the second road is like door. It's like Mel we're going to see like grow up Mel maybe. What happened to Nelly is like maybe it's going to be like about revenge of Nelly, because if you think about this, I don't think like they would like leave Nelly in the house at this point because of what she did. So maybe she got casted away, and maybe it's going to be like, you know, like she's coming back and trying to post her revenge actually on the Rhodes family or something. Well, anyway, let's just continue and see what's going to happen, because I'm really curious how they will handle second door and yeah, how the story will follow. So let's do it. Second? Sorry, I cannot see anything. So anyway, the second door appears to be the entrance to a cellar. Sorry, I'm blind. I just literally cannot read without my glasses. Okay, I'm back. Let's go. The disconsolate wooden door was visibly rotten in several places, and it seemed it might crumble at a single touch. Does it mean like this is going to be like a rotten door, like a rotten past, basically, if you think about this? Because it can be door that's like full with grief, if you think about this, if this is like direct continuation. Because first door was like it was like the iron door that led to like the rose garden and everything, right? So it's been like pretty happy door, I would say, and it like just go downhill later. And now we are going into the door that is like crumbling, so it might be like directly after what happened, and this is like, you know, just the bad things that's happening to Mel right now. It's he's in the despair and everything. You could hear sound of something devouring meat beyond the door. Okay. Maybe there was a beast living within. Before you had a chance to say... wait. Okay. Before you had a chance to say you thought it was dangerous, Maid opened the door with a chilling smile on her face. Your first impression was that it smelled of blood. Okay. This door is going to be insane, isn't it? What is happening? I don't know if I'm ready for this. $707. Okay, you know what? I need to go back to my comment section and remind myself what were the dates. Background music, let's just turn it down a bit. The mansions are in ruins in that era, not a soul reside within. Be right back, I need to check comments to see what we had the dates. Okay, I don't know how I will cut this, because I said like, I don't know, I was confused. Anyway, first door being 1603 and this one is 1707. This is like 100 years later. Almost. What kind of time skip is that? And what kind of music do we have? This is intense from the beginning. The mansion sat in ruins in that era, not a soul reside within. Okay? The grandeur of the house was lost to the ages. It was in perpetual decline. Not a flower grew in the garden. Dust in dirt blackened the plaster. Cobwebs blanketed the corridors. Ivy shrouded the outer walls. It was not a pleasant sight. Okay. So everyone from the first door is dead, basically, right? So Rhoda's family basically are gone. Like, the family did not prosper after what happened. As hard as I tried to fight it, I could not stop the mansion's descent into disrepair. The depth of the previous own grief or previous despair was far too much. After the beautiful flaxen-haired family people stayed away from the mansion. They had no heirs, so their bloodline simply vanished to the depths of history. Yeah, that's what I expected. It had been about 50 years since the house last had a resident, okay? The fallen property appeared as though it had been abandoned for centuries, and the occasional villager who stumbled upon it did not remain there for more than a day. My time there was rather solitary. Why we still have a... Sorry for the sudden cut. I got a lot of distractions today. So, yeah, I wanted to say, like, this is from the perspective of the maid, so it seems like she's talking like she still existed in the mansion since this time. So, yeah, I'm really strongly believing now that she's not normal being, basically. Not normal human being, okay? Like, there's no way she can remember, like, this mansion, okay? Like, she's been, like, adult, basically, in the previous road. So, in the previous door. So, yeah, like, just no. My time there was rather solitary. That was perhaps the loneliest time of my life. Everyone who visited the mansion feared it. It was left without anyone to become its master. I even came to believe that my time serving as a maid would come to the end in this era. Yeah. Like, you should be dead, like, long time ago, you know? However, one day I noticed something out of ordinary. As a servant of the house, I'm almost immediately aware of any new presence within its walls. Yeah, most likely you are a ghost residing in this house, or you are embodiment of the house itself. Maybe maid is like a representation of the house. If you think about this, like personalization of this. And there appeared to be someone downstairs. Could you imagine just how delighted I was? Yeah, but the people were staying just for one day, usually, right? That part of me was, though part of me was anxious about what kind of person I might find. The possibility that could be you had my heart fluttered. Okay, she's been waiting for him specifically, even back in the day, and he arrived now after like how many years? Who knows? And they're like traveling for past now. What is happening? So, resisting the urge to rush, I headed for the basement. The cellar was where the red wine, smoked meat, and other preserved food were kept. By that point, the wine was practically antique. Okay, yeah. As I had expected, a man had made his way into a cellar. Is anyone there? She's so... I don't know. Although I'm unsure if referring to him as a man is entirely accurate. Okay. Oh my, this is quite something. What the fuck is that? I got chills instantly this thing showed up. Holy, oh my god, this is scary. The very first thing I sensed was almost unbearable stench. The odor emanated from the man, heightened by the food he had carelessly rummaged through. Blood-red liquid spilled from the wine barrels, soaking the floor. His sunken eyes had a piercing, wolf-like glimmer in them. His teeth were sharp and yellowed, visible as he ripped into a chunk of meat. He grumbled in a seemingly inhuman tongue. I was looking at the beast. Okay, how can we make any kind of story out of this? Like longer story for like multiple episodes for like second door. This sounds like some kind of like episode that should happen in like, I don't know, like aftermath of like first door or something. Just like something extra. Not like the whole new door. What? Perhaps a half beast. There was another source of odor in the room though. It had something of kind of metallic thing to it, and when I noticed this, I nearly passed out. The red liquid was not the wine, just as I had assumed. The beast had, I presume, stolen a weapon from the village. A sword, far too nice for him, lay on the floor by his side. I could hardly imagine how many people lives he had taken with that blade. It was visibly wet with blood, even in the darkness of the cellar, but at the same time, it had an imposing gleam. The fine, luscious aroma of the wine could not mask the stench of blood and the beast. Holding my breath, I took a few moments to ponder. Ponder what? Oh, master, you know. Tell me, were you summoned here by the mansion? What do you mean? This is... oh my god. I have a feeling like this is just a representation of like some kind of like mass murderer or something, you know? Like he just like is so savage that he's like just like represented just as the half beast basically. That's why we have like him represented like that. He actually have like human form, but like, you know, like his eyes, his like blood teeth and everything, it just like gives him appearance of the beast in shadows. I think that's like the artistic representation of him. Did you come here knowing what kind of place it is? I don't know, this thing cannot even speak. Haha. If you are in want of money, you're welcome to help yourself to some of furniture. And I imagine the villagers would be willing to welcome you if you dressed yourself up a bit like more like a person. Then you can trade the furniture for food and make your way to the larger town. The wolf was able to fool the innocent little girl by simply by putting on clothing after all. Yeah. Oh dear. I was afraid you wouldn't understand me. What am I to do? I was in quite the predicament. Nevertheless, it meant a great deal to me that I had found someone who did not fear the mansion, be they human or beast. So I decided I should give him my assistance, while doing my best not to agitate him. Say, could you perchance be my new master? What is happening? Who is the maid? What is the maid? Okay, how many years passed? How many years passed now? The mansion sat near the ocean. Wait, it did? Oh, this is like different place. Wait, it wasn't near the ocean. ocean. This is a different place, right? To say it was perching upon a cliff might sound rather intimidating, but you could see the beautifully clear sea through the windows, a glittering expanse of emeralds and turquoise. If the mansion had been in proper condition, it would have been a breathtaking against that backdrop. Okay, so it's been next to the ocean all this time? They never showed this in the first door. Sounds like important place to be shown, if you think. I even wanted to plant orange trees in the garden. I even wanted to plant, yeah, orange trees. Though it was a tumultuous era, the sun will shone bright upon the land, which only served to empathize the house's unsightliness. Oh yes, perhaps I should give you some more background information. At that period of time, a war had just drawn to a close. Okay. The once gorgeous wastelands were infested with crows picking and decaying remains. Bodies of soldiers fallen in battle continually washed up on the shores of the coastal villages. The people wanted nothing more than for a curtain to draw on that deeply political contest. And when it finally did, the kingdom, with its richly fertile shores, was stripped of its independence, beginning a new era under a new rule. The people were exhausted, their spirits wasted away, okay? I wonder if it's based on like some real life event? Because, well, wars happened before, right? And stuff, so... Actually, now I think about this, where is this happening? It's not Japan, right? I believe. Right? Because how it looks and everything, with the designs, I don't think this is Japan, right? Like, come on. Where is this taking place? Can someone remind me in the comments? Was it specified? Because I'm trying to figure out if like there could be like any possible like war events or something, or like battles near this area during the time, to like make some kind of connection to like real stuff. You can also let me know in the comments if some of this is like related to real events. I'm really curious about like little like, you know, backstories and like trivia like this, so would be cool. And the splendor of the ocean and sky did nothing to help. In my mind, the beast was emblematic of the times, emaciated and enveloped in the scent of blood. But the war came to an end, as the beast did not have to remain a beast, they thought. Did he? And so, I endeavored to make the beast more human-like. First, I needed to do something about his appearance. Oh, was this guy a soldier or something, maybe? Like, he survived a battle, maybe, and he's like lone survivor? Maybe he did not kill villagers like she assumed. Maybe the stench of blood and everything was because of the war. I'm really curious where this is going. I would draw a bath, scrub away all the filth, and dress him in clothing left in the mansion. However, having sat unused for 50 years, the majority of garments had been devoured by insects and were of little use. So I searched the mansion top to bottom for anything the beast could wear, heated up some coals, and set to work ironing what I found. At the time, Steam irons had not yet been invented, so we used plates of iron heated with coals. Okay. They somewhat resembled kettles. Yeah. I remember them. I mean, I saw them. I never used one. I think my grandmother used one. Yeah. I think my grandma had one. I even prepared meals for the beast in order to teach him proper table manners. Although with the mansion in a nearly uninhabitable state of disarray, there was only so much I could do in the kitchen. And the only supplies I had to work with were what was left in the cellar. As such, I was not able to put to use the cooking skills I learned in the flaxen-haired family time. This is so weird. Okay, what if maid doesn't exist? What if we have a motive of like people imagining stuff? Like they believe like this mansion is haunted. And they come here and they just like keep seeing this maid, but she don't exist. She's like just imagination. So if like this guy getting like washed and finding clothes and everything, he's actually doing this by himself, just scavenging the place basically, right? But he believes like there's some other presence that's doing for him. And he's crazy anyway, so maybe. No, you mustn't eat with your hands. Do you want to get your fingers and face dirty? You eat using a knife and fork. See? Like this. I feel like I'm teaching a young child. Yep, you got angry. Oh my. What are you holding your head for? Okay. He got a headache. Maybe first time someone treated him kindly or something? Oh dear. Perhaps I shouldn't be teaching you. I should be teaching you to speak before table manners. Yeah, that would be a great idea, you know? To actually be able to communicate with this thing. Yeah, maybe it's not a soldier or anything. I think like, yeah, he might just be like someone who's just been like living on the streets and just is like murderer basically. He cannot read, possibly like barely speaking, never learned, or maybe he's even like from different country, maybe, so he don't know national language here, so he cannot communicate properly. So it's like mumbo jumbo for her because she doesn't recognize the language. Maybe that's the case. Could be as well. Or not, we have plenty of time. Yeah, you seems immortal. You needn't act so frightened. Or perhaps you do not want to understood at all. Would be so kind to tell me your name. You are for now still a guest. It's too soon for me to call you master. Or am I mistaken? Okay. Your name. That is what people call you. How about I start by telling you my name? Yes, please. Last time you said we can call you the maid. I'm called... Okay. That's a long ass name. If that's actually the number of letters that we need. Okay. I don't know, is it just me, but if I see B and E, I think Beatrice. I don't know. Is it just me? Okay. Oh. Wait. Bestia. No, wait. Wait. Is this normal word in English or not? Wait, hold on a second. There's no way. This is literally my language. What the fuck? Hold on a second. Oh, it's Spanish. Wait, it's Spanish word. Basically, a beast means a bestia in Polish. And in Spanish, bestia is also beast. Okay. Well, that's easy to pronounce. My mind is going to be... Oh my god. I'm going to be so confused. I'm talking with English with one word in Polish. What the fuck? Bestia. Your name is Bestia? This is so weird. This is so weird. What the fuck? I see. And this is what I shall call you, Bestia. Maybe she means bestie. I don't know. Okay. Let's just read. My mind just got... What the fuck? He seems to be rather perplexed as to how I was still alive. Yes. That's what I want to know as well, mate. He had, in fact, attempted to cause me harm, however. I'm servant of the household. That's not what I'm wondering about, though. I'm not wondering why you are still alive after you took care of the bestia. I wonder how you're alive after 100 years. That's my concern. The beast called himself Bestia. It is a curious thing. When I learned his name, he seems to take on a new importance in my mind. He was not a mere beast, but the thing called Bestia. Master, should I ever have the chance to hear your name, I'm certain you too shall become more substantial in a presence. So, the guy we are following, she called him Master, but don't know his name? That's weird. But you must always remember, Master, that even if you do not remember your name, and even if you never know mine, you have always held a special place in my heart. Okay? I'm so curious about the relation here. And thus began my tranquil days with Bestia. Slowly he began to learn the human language, human tongue, and I was, to be quite honest, rather thrilled. To be certain, I was afraid of the beast, but my fear was not so strong as my elation that there was someone else in the mansion, someone to whom I could speak, and someone that might become my master. Come now, you must pull weeds out of the rods, or they will soon grow back. This is a task that requires perseverance. You do it like this, see? There you go. Grass. Grass, good. Grass, eat. I like how he's learning like single words. This is not just like we have like time skip and he can like talk. I like how they do this. Like we have like whole process. He's like learning new words. How did you not expect that? What appears to be many plants on the surface is actually all connected within the soil. This is a task that requires a man's strength. If there were other servants, they could do it. I apologize for making you tend to the garden, future master. Or perhaps, now that you're all dressed up, do you wish to leave the mansion and find someone to fool as the wolf did the sweet little girl? Have you no interest in remaining in such disheveled house? NT? Go on. Not want to leave. Okay. Oh my, is that so? If you wish to stay, then I shall not stop you. On the contrary, I will gladly attend to you. I'm waiting for a person who is to become my master. Forever waiting. Yeah, she's waiting for master. So the one we are following now is the last master she met? Because we are like going through the story. Okay, let's just read. I have too little information and this is confusing. Forever waiting. I should be able to watch over you until the day you depart this world old and wrinkled. Yeah. Sounds like it. Do you not believe me? Are you interested in becoming the master of this house? Will be. I have to wonder if you know what you are saying. Although it matters little whenever you do or not. Oh my, look at that. Now that brings memories. This is called a rose. Oh, Rhoda's family. Do you know what a rose is? It's a type of flower. Not no. Do not no. I see. Allow me to teach you. What you have here is not a real rose. The real rose is withered and are sleeping in the soil. This is called accessory. It is something women wear. Oh, this is like either red or white rose. It's one of the two. Nelly and the white-haired girl had. It survived. Oh, this is the white one. The beast had an ornament white rose in his hand. An object someone sometime meant to give to someone else. Yeah. Curiously, the white rose was just as stunning as it had been the day it was made, despite being buried in the air for so many years. I hear roses makes wonderful gifts. Also, that means that we will not see the white-haired girl anymore in the game. I'm kinda sad. Ah, so we're going to change characters with every door? So I should not get too attached to them, I guess, outside of Maid. Right? Because Maid seems to be eternal. He stared intently at the decorative rose. I had presumed the beast would either discard it disinterestedly or destroy it. But much to my surprise, Bestia held it gently in his hands, as though it was something precious to him. Are you perchance considering giving it to me? So you are not. Very well. Is there someone else you would like to give it to? In that moment, a thought floated through my mind. The thing that I had found in the pool of blood in the cellar was a monstrous creature indeed, but perhaps that was not at his core what he truly was. So let's ask him a question. What is it that you desire, Bestia? This mansion fulfills people's desires. If they yearn for something. Want. Leave. Peace. Okay. Wow. The backstory of Bestia, huh? Look at that filthy thing. Beast. It's a beast. It's eating goddamn sand. You really that hungry? A beast, you foul creature. Stay the hell back. Get any closer. Filthy beast. I will kill you. Yeah, so he's been like discarded by the society basically. He's like the lowest of the low basically on the streets, I guess, and no one really cared about him. No one paid attention to what's happening to him. Never be interested in his backstory, how he ended up there and everything. They just wanted to basically kill him. Yeah. Okay. I guess being alone in the mansion just is good for him, right, at this point, because he can live in peace as he wants. No one is bothering him. Can see why he don't want to go to like people, to the village basically. Don't want to be like anywhere near people. Several days passed by. As Bestia began to act more like a person, the mansion followed suit, slowly becoming more habitable, though not yet back to its former glory. Okay, so he's restoring the mansion basically. No flowers grew in the garden, but neither there were weeds infesting it. The dusty corridors, shattered windows, rust-covered kitchen gradually returned to the proper states. Bestia learned how to change his own clothes and how to draw a bath. No longer they have to wait on him hand and foot. He could take care of a number of things all by himself. What he lacked for food, he acquired from the forest. Never did he go to purchase supplies from the village. Rather, he captured hares and gathered herbs hidden in the overgrowth. Yeah, I wonder if like people will realize that someone is starting to living here and they will check out what is here and how he will react for like his first encounter with humans basically after many years. Maybe not many years, but after like many days, months, probably months, right? There were days without incident, and though such a life may be want for excitement, peace is something that you mustn't take for granted. Those who have it cast it aside, finding the leisurely flow of time dull. Only those who have never experienced it truly know how precious it is. Bestia appeared to be content. He wore an expression of solitary serenity. Oh! See, someone realized that this place is getting tended and someone is actually starting to live in here again. Okay, let's see. How do we handle the situation here? Someone! Is anyone there? And then one day, a crack formed in the uneventful tranquility. Is anyone there? Could you part with some food? You are a merchant apparently, so you can afford food, I would say, right? You don't need much. What? Okay, I think like they're just tricking with the merchant, if that's what he's saying. Some food and water. Just a little, that's all I need. Bestia look over me, as it's seeking my aid. Ironic, no? It was the visitor who was truly in need of aid. How? Unless this guy go bankrupt and like is on the streets now. He's like former merchant. I pondered it for a few moments, deciding that I could not simply turn away someone calling upon the mansion. Had Bestia ordered me to not let him in, I would have followed his instructions, but he said nothing. Okay, hello? You look fancy. You don't need food and water? That's weird. That's really weird. I don't trust this guy. Oh thank god, someone's here. I was afraid it was deserted. You say you were in need of a sustenance? Yes? It doesn't have to be much. Anything to quench this thirst. I got lost. It's been several days. Okay, so you are a traveling merchant? But you have a full village near this mansion, so why did you pinpoint single house near the ocean out of the whole like city? It doesn't make sense. Give me a few minutes, I will find. Let him in. He can speak, okay. A firm deep voice came from behind me. I was quite startled. When had the beast learned to act so much like a human? When he had learned to speak so clearly and to behave so much like a master? Ah. Upon seeing Bestia, a look of terror appeared to cross the wanderer's face for a moment. To my eyes, Bestia was the very image of the head of the house, but to outsider he probably appeared to be nothing more than a beast in the man's clothing. Prepare him a meal and a bed. I suspect he is quite tired. Thank you very much. But in time, he feared drained from the man's face. Bestia sat precariously on the border between man and the beast. Though he still had his doubts, the wanderer revised his first impression, deciding Bestia was human. As the wolf had fooled little girl in the forest, he too had succeeded in playing the role of a man. I thought I was gone for a while there, but you really came to the rescue. And a meal like this on top of that? You really didn't have to. But I guess it's not an appropriate thing to say as I'm eating. Yeah. What kind of meat is this? Harder. It's damn tender for a rabbit. And there, I thought it was beef. You have quite the skilled chef. Oh, is she the one who cooked this? Is she your wife? Oh no, I'm merely a servant. A female servant, huh? Don't see that very often. Was that unusual? Really? I don't know how this looks back into this as well. Ah, okay. The mansion is just full of surprises. I can hardly believe it. Lost for days. As soon as I think I'm dead, there it is. Thinking back on it now, it's miraculous. But why are you living alone in a house on the cliff? Oh, I beg your pardon. Asking so many questions without telling you about myself. My apologies. Just a little too excited to finally see other people. I am a merchant. I do international trade, yeah, so he's like traveling merchant, I guess. Until a few years back, spice exports pretty much all came from one place. But now that we established trade routes of our own, my country is fighting tooth and nails to push its exports. And in fact, some have lost a few teeth in the fight already. But that's just how it works. It's a cutthroat world. You do what you must to survive. Just how it works, the merchant said, a sorrowful look on his face. He was quite clearly putting on a show though. Confidence in himself and his homeland radiated from that man. I came to this land to do business, but much to my chagrin, I somehow ended up lost in the forest. I still think like he's like bullshitting us. I don't think like this guy is a merchant. I don't know why, I just don't trust him. Maybe he is a merchant. I mean, he looks good, right? He had like proper clothes and everything. So he seems like he's not like a someone who could cast it away, but with a constant motive of like being dressed as a like wolf being dressed right? So I think it might actually apply to him as well. Maybe this merchant is actually like someone really dangerous. He just got these clothes from some merchant, maybe, actually. From some actual merchant who he killed. And he just came here dressed like that because he thought like no one is here actually and he tried to rob this place or something. You know? I don't trust this guy. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Do you think like you can trust this merchant or not? He seems suspicious to me. Had I wandered around for much longer, I would have lost the chance to ever see my beloved again. Your beloved? Yes, sir. I'm constantly out on business, so we only get to see each other a few times a year. But she always waits for my return. I'd like to introduce you to her if I ever get the chance. She's a pretty girl, if not especially striking. Is that so? The merchant was a man of many words, and I, for one, do not mind the lively supper table. Do I not know? I know not how Bestia felt. At the very least, I was glad we had invited the Wanderer into the mansion. He was, after all, holding a proper conversation with someone, and he seems to be having success concealing his piercing beast-like gaze. However... Alright, I stopped by the village before entering the forest, and I heard a bone-chilling tale there. Oh god, they will be talking about beast. Also, see, I'm now again suspicious about merchant. Like, you stopped by the village. Like, I don't believe that no one in the village gave you anything to eat. I cannot, like, I just don't believe it. Like, come on, like, whole city, whole village would not give you anything? It doesn't make sense. This guy is clearly suspicious. Like, singled out this one house is just, it just makes no sense. Maybe he wanted, like, like I said, he expected this place to be actually uninhabited, and he wanted to live here or something. Maybe hide here, you know? As soon as the merchant brought up the subject, a palpable tension spread through the room. They say there have been sightings of the beast. But I think we'll see this story in the next episode. So this is the beginning. This is the beginning of the second door where we meet Bestia, the beast who seems to be less than a human, or more human than we thought, actually, in the beginning. Maid seems to be immortal. Wow, I don't know where this is going. I literally cannot predict this door in any way. I think like my only prediction for now would be that Bestia will at some point, probably at the end, yeah, like at the end of this door, will go into berserk mode or something, and will just like start attacking everyone. It will be a bloodbath. Maybe it will die during the fight with villagers or something, you know, or something like that. He will like let his urges just go rampage. Maybe something will trigger him. He wants to live in peace. He had a tragic backstory, but he still have, you know, he still remembers what people did to him. So maybe something will trigger him to fight. Or maybe everything will be okay and he will become more and more human. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, very interesting, the second door. I did not expect this at all, so I'm really excited for the next one. Hope you do as well. So leave a like if you liked the episode, subscribe for more. You can become Patreon if you'd like to support me as well. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next one. So for the Pocket Watch, is going out.